Hi there! Welcome to another episode of Legal Tips at Your Fingertips. This is Attorney Chato Olivas, and in today's video, we will discuss 5 more personal and legal documents that you must keep safely. In the video that I posted on December 29, 2022, which is this one that's shown on the screen, I talked about the first 5 of the 15 personal documents that you must keep safely in a place within easy reach. In that video, I said that there are very important documents that must be accessible to us in case there is an emergency and we have only a few minutes to grab these before heading out the door. Or even when there is no emergency, there are times when we need certain documents and we must be able to find them easily. In part 1, I discussed these 5. Number 1, civil registry documents. Number 2, passports and travel documents. 3, real estate documents. 4, financial documents. And 5, vehicle registration documents. In this video, which is part 2, we will talk about documents 6 to 10. These are licenses, insurance and related documents, powers of attorney, last will and testament, and medical records. So now let's talk about licenses. Have a separate file for your licenses. As for your driver's license, which you must always bring with you, make a color photocopy and include it in your files. Other licenses include your international driver's license, your license to practice your profession for those engaged in medicine, nursing, dentistry, teaching, accounting, pharmacy, veterinary medicine, engineering, architecture, and others. Licenses include firearms licenses, private pilot's licenses, and boat licenses when required. Also include a checklist of renewal dates, and to make it really easy for you, set it up in your Google Calendar with an alarm giving enough days before expiration so you will be reminded of when to renew. Here's your checklist. Photocopy of driver's license, international driver's license, professional license, firearm license, pilot's license, boat license. The next category would be insurance and related documents. I already mentioned in part 1 your vehicle insurance policy, which should be included among your vehicle registration requirements. You may either decide to file it there or include it in this category or both. It would not be too much to have copies in both categories since your long-term goal is to be able to access these documents easily. Other insurance documents would include life insurance, health insurance, and property insurance. Related documents would be memorial or life plans, travel insurance, educational savings plans, and others. I also advise you to have a list of your insurance agents' names, contact numbers, email, and office addresses so you can easily contact them when the need arises. Now here's your checklist. Vehicle insurance, life insurance, health plan or medical insurance, travel insurance, educational savings plan, life or memorial plan. Let's go to category number 8, and these are powers of attorney. Powers of attorney are written authorizations issued by individuals allowing specific persons to perform particular acts on their behalf. These may either be general powers of attorney, which grant broad powers for a given period, or special powers of attorney, referring only to certain acts that are to be carried out by a representative, such as the act of cashing a check, selling a specific piece of property, filing a court case, or the like. If you are the person giving the authorization, you are the principal, and you must have a copy of the power of attorney because it defines and limits the powers you have given your representative. In case he or she violates it by exceeding his or her authority, you can revoke or cancel the power of attorney. If you are the representative, You would also want a copy so that you know the exact scope of your authority. Some powers of attorney should be registered with a government agency, depending on the laws of a country or territory. Make sure that you follow this registration requirement, if any. Next, we have last will and testament. Your last will and testament is your way of having control over how your property will be handled and disposed of after you pass away. When a last will is deliberately destroyed by the one who made it, known as the testator, the will is cancelled and therefore rendered ineffective. However, if it is accidentally destroyed or lost, it should still be considered valid, but the will must go through a court process to prove that it was accidentally destroyed or lost and what its contents are. This can be very tricky, especially when heirs question the contents of the will. So the best way is to keep it in a safe place. Some persons also want to include their preferred funeral arrangements and last rites in the will or in a separate document. You may want to do the same so that your heirs and relatives would be clear about your final wishes. I also advise you to have a list of all your property and a list of names and contact details of your heirs, lawyer, accountant, and religious minister. I have 2 related videos and they are shown here in this screen. Number 1, why do you need a last will? And number 2, make your handwritten will. I also put the links in the description below. Now, here's your checklist. Last will and testament, names of heirs with contact details, names of lawyer, accountant, and religious minister with contact details. And the last item for this video, which is part 2, we have medical records. Medical records are for a lifetime. This should include a list of names and contact details of all medical practitioners that you and your family members have consulted and are still consulting. Also include a list of the clinics and hospitals you have gone to for consultation and treatment. In addition, you should also have the medical history of every family member so that doctors can understand their present medical condition and the risk factors they face. There is an excellent web article entitled Medical History: Compiling Your Medical Family Tree on the website of Mayo Clinic. If you or any family member has been adopted, you also need to construct the medical history of your or the adopted child's biological parents. The Mayo Clinic advises that as much as possible, you are to include the family medical history of at least 3 generations and try to get as much information on the following: sex, date of birth, ethnicity, medical conditions, mental health conditions including alcoholism or other substance abuse, pregnancy complications including miscarriage, stillbirth, birth defects, or infertility, age when each condition was diagnosed, lifestyle habits including diet, exercise, and tobacco use, for deceased relatives, age at the time of death and cause of death, and pay special attention to conditions that develop earlier than usual, such as high blood pressure in early adulthood or conditions that affect multiple relatives. For details, you may consult this page of the Mayo Clinic's website. Regarding your children, medical records should also include immunization history, allergies, and medications. You may also add medical abstracts, prescriptions, X-ray and laboratory results, dental records, health insurance plans, and disability records. Proof of medical expenses can also be included because these are tax deductibles in some jurisdictions, and some have medical insurance plans that reimburse these expenses. You may also include a living will known as a healthcare directive. This contains instructions to doctors on end-of-life medical care if you are no longer capable of informing the doctors of your decision. Here's your checklist. List of names and contact details of your doctors, dentists, hospitals, clinics. Family medical history or medical family tree. Immunization records, allergies, medications, and prescriptions. Medical abstracts. X-ray results and laboratory results. Dental records. Health insurance plans. Disability records. Proof of medical expenses, and living will or healthcare directive. That's it for these 5 kinds of documents. In our next video, which will be part 3, we will talk about the last 5 categories of documents. Until here for now, and see you at the next video. To watch more videos that will help you in your studies and in life, subscribe to my channel. If you are a law student, you can read more about civil procedure in my virtual textbook, which you can find at www.profchato.com. And for inspiration, let me share my favorite Bible verse from Micah chapter 6 verse 8. Do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with God.